As I said last month, we're refocusing flu. Uh, we'll continue to provide the latest Wisconsin cases and some information on Wisconsin law, but I'm going to primarily focus it on mediation and settlement negotiations from here on out. So this month's video message is going to be a movie review. And I love movies. I'm sort of a movie snob. I don't like superhero movies and stuff. I like really, really well done movies. So therefore, I don't usually like movies based upon the law and lawyers because they're too Hollywood and they're not realistic. And some movies that are like almost classics in the field, it's just not the way the real world works and the way lawyers actually perform and what it's like. But there's a recent movie called A Marriage Story, which is, if you're going through a divorce, do not watch it. Wait about a year or two. But if you're a divorce lawyer, it is must-seeing because unlike almost every other movie on marriage and divorce, this one's realistic. It's directed by Noah Baumbach, who a number of years ago directed another terrific movie about the effect of divorce called The Whale and the Squid, in which a young Jesse Eisenberg played a teenager whose parents were divorcing. And it's primarily about the effect of the divorce in Jesse Eisenberg. It's also a really, really good, realistic film. And A Marriage Story starts off with the two parties, the husband played by Adam Driver, the wife by Scarlett Johansson, both of whom are terrific in the film, and tells the story, essentially they're splitting up. And the movie tends to focus, and the main point of the movie, I think, at least what I get out of it, maybe it's because I'm a lawyer, is about their choice of lawyers and how to proceed in the divorce. The very opening scene, I'm not ruining anything here, no spoiler alerts, but is the opening scene, I think even before the credits, are the two of them meeting with a mediator to try to resolve it without attorneys. And obviously that's not successful. I'm not ruining anything because it wouldn't be a movie. And they then go, and there are a couple different attorneys involved in it, starting with the Scarlett Johansson's choice of attorney, who is Laura Dern. Husband's initial choice of attorney is played terrifically by Alan Alda, and then later Ray Liotta. They're all outstanding actors. They're all actors that are totally believable in this film. And what particularly interests me in it in terms of watching the film and its effect, and the reason I'm speaking about it, is the ability of lawyers to affect what happens. I mean, we all know that to a large degree is lawyers do make a difference in cases, but the difference isn't just in terms of the amount of money that the parties end up with. It obviously affects that too, but also in terms of how the case proceeds and progresses. As I've said many, many times, family law differs from other areas of law in that the two parties are most likely, and if there are any children involved, absolutely are going to have a future relationship with each other. And that's not true in personal injury law where, there's a car accident, the odds of them meeting up at another intersection is minuscule. Business lawsuits, they're unlikely to do business with each other again, and so on and so forth. In family law, where there are children, adult or minor children, they're going to have relationships with each other later, and what we do in the divorce action affects, to some degree or another, the nature of that future relationship. So the bomb throwers, what are sometimes called the Rambo type lawyers, have one set of effects, and the peacemakers have another. My preference in cases is always to settle cases. Getting into mediation, set up Herman mediation services. I'm changing FLU to be more settlement and mediation oriented because I think it's that important to people to be able to settle their cases, not just settle it, but to do it well. And there's a lot of information, there's a lot of literature, there's a lot of expertise in terms of how to do it. And one of the things that the movie highlights, and there's a number of things, is first, the mediation session, as I said, doesn't work. And I think it's a great discussion topic about why it doesn't work. What's wrong? There are a number of possibilities, and it's interesting to watch the movie and speculate. Second, the choice of attorneys on the film is fascinating in terms of who the lawyers are and what effect they have, both in terms of the process and, since the couple has a young child, what the nature of their relationship is. So I highly recommend the film. Watch it. It's extremely well done. It is not a comedy, but there are parts that are, let's just say, amusing within the context of the film, not trying to make fun of the system, but there's recognizable characters in there, and as divorce lawyers, you're going to watch it and identify with what's going on in the film, both in terms of the lawyers, how the parties react. There's a court social worker, and what I think is a terrific scene in terms of how that plays out in the film, and I don't want to ruin any more for it. So watch the film, and I'd be interested in anybody's reaction to it. Anybody who wants to discuss it, please shoot me a message. Let's talk about it, because I think it's an important film, and I think it's a film that highlights things that we actually do as lawyers and things that we can do better. A friendly reminder to subscribe to Wisconsin Family Law Case Finder. Subscription information is on screen for you. We have over 1,600 family law cases in Wisconsin, many cases from out of state, organized into 135 different family law subject areas. You can search by the word, search by the area, search by the case. It's an outstanding resource, and if you practice family law in Wisconsin, you ought to subscribe to it.